it here. On to the weather, where the eastern edge of the lows in the United States are driving hard, bringing southern air up to warm the Midwest, which had been happening in the Pacific to Alaska for about 2 months straight, but that's about to change in a big way. The western side of these lows pulls just as hard from the north as we saw in the Southern California snow event yesterday that is still ongoing as it moves east, and sadly the cold wave is getting worse in India too. More people whose homes can't handle the cold, people being found dead on the street, and of course, in such a warm region where wintertime crops are essential, they really don't want to see one of their colder month lifebloods being destroyed. Let's go to the science and keep it easy to begin with the 2019 highlights from NASA's Earth Observatory. It was indeed a pretty cool year looking from above. Full video is linked for you below. Folks, we're coming back again to the trouble with the claimed giant black hole at LB1. I have been showing you the descent and debunkings from the mainstream to show you what it looks like from announcement to thrashing, and here you can read how a student got in on taking down what was the most impossible astrophysical announcement of the second half of the year. Looking back on the year, I want to reshare a few things that new viewers have likely missed. First, an article on geomagnetic jerks. This set off investigations into how the geomagnetic jerks are one of the known causes of glitches in the length of a day, the other being solar storms, and how the Great Solar Flash gives us the super version of both at the same time, and also a way to explain why the field was dropping and then recovering, dropping like in 2014 and 2015 and recovering afterwards. This does not show field strength, but geomagnetic jerks. This is why we say the field struggles and then has a huge hump recovery back up, why it's recovering now on an upswing again. The next geomagnetic jerk should be within 18 months. And I also wanted to remind everyone, scientists have no freaking clue how old things are on the planet. Back in the spring, they took the ice caps in Tibet from 500,000 years old to potentially being formed in the Younger Dryas, 12 to 11,000 years ago. That is an insane change, and it teaches us about reality and the problems with the one they've told us about for a while. I also wanted to share this old book again, linked to the online copy provided. It's no Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas, it's no World in Peril by Major White, but we show and share those all the time. This one not so much. It does manage to catch the 10 to 12,000 year disaster cycle. It discusses the tilting of the Earth and the great continental-sized waves that thrash the continents in the upheaval. They also touch on a key piece of evidence, the coal at the poles, which shouldn't be so abundant if the poles stay where they are all the time. Lastly, folks, the in-print version of this paper is a month away, but early posting online comes a major review of solar forcing and various Earth indices. This is a study that they have initiated with various groups in various regions across the globe, and they keep showing the same thing. It's the sun that drives temperatures over the long term, largely due to ocean effects like the 30-year heat lag most climate scientists these days forget about, and also a recognition from their data that past warmings like the medieval and Roman warming periods were simply worse than now, and that the modern warming is actually quite unremarkable. By the way, every data set on Earth shows that for the last two planet warming events, except the one that comes out of the United States, which Tony Heller constantly proves they fake, fudge, and retroactively modify. Now I know that this one is really tough, especially for the newer viewers. It is irksome ethically. The climate story is probably the most complex scientifically, even more so than the cosmology. But it doesn't have to be, and you don't have to get stuck thinking the climate science...